This is Roland Mumford with Mumford.law. This is a video about a man that was arrested because he was parked in front of a gas station in Georgia, pulled over aside from a storm, and he was merely reading a book. He was called on, the police were called, and this officer demanded ID. This man stood up for his rights. And as a disclaimer, I have agreed to represent him in a Section 1983 federal lawsuit if all of his charges are dismissed, and I've assisted him with retaining defense counsel. This is John. His last name is spelled C-H-O-E. I'm never sure how to pronounce it, so please go check out his YouTube channel. The full video of the body cam video is on his website, the YouTube channel, and this is an edited for time, obviously. So thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy this legal analysis where we show the video of the body cam, and then I show and discuss the loitering statute and the trespassing statute in Georgia, and some citations from an actual federal lawsuit for nearly the exact same type of case that I'm arguing in federal court in South Georgia. Thank you.
Just stopping. Is that okay?
Yeah, there's people that are concerned because you've been out here for a couple hours. They want to make sure you're okay.
Now, what's important here is it turns out that he was not there for a couple hours. It was just a little bit over an hour. So this officer was mistaken. As you can also see in this video, the gentleman is just sitting in the rear of his car. He's parked in front of a gas station, and he was reading a book. And in the background, you can see there was a lot of heavy rain. He's just parked in front of a gas station. He doesn't know the area. He's traveling from New York. He's not bothering anybody. And it's important to note that at this time, nobody in this gas station had asked him to leave, had made any complaint. Now, there's this allegation that someone may have made a phone call. Apparently, that occurred a little bit later. But in the totality of the circumstances, you can see here, it's just a gentleman sitting in a car who's presenting no problems. And he did even offer to leave.
You got some ID on you?
Yeah, I do, but I can move if you want.
You don't. I'm not saying you have to.
I'm just resting.
I know. I'm not accusing you of anything. They want us to check on you. I just want to know who I'm talking to. That's all.
I'm just passing through. So.
Now, as you see here, the officer asks for an ID, and that is entirely what this is all about. He just wants that identification. And it's not to investigate whether, in fact, that there's a crime occurring. It's because he just wants to see if there's any outstanding warrants.
Okay, I need your ID.
Did I commit a crime?
You're loitering.
If I'm trespassing.
Yes, you are, because you've been here for hours. Okay. I need your ID, sir.
Now, that's going to form the basis for this video, that he's going to be arrested on the issue of loitering and prowling and trespassing. And we're going to go into that analysis here. And actually, I am litigating this exact type of case in the Southern District of Georgia. So I'll actually be going through some legal citations in a response to a motion to dismiss with you here in just a little bit.
Are you going to arrest me?
Do I need to?
I don't know. I didn't.
Okay, you need to identify yourself. Please provide me your identification.
Officer, if I committed a crime,
yes, it's called trespassing and loitering. That's a crime.
I don't believe I've been trespassing.
Okay, it doesn't matter what you believe. You need to provide your ID.
Well, I was doing officer with.
Now, listen how this officer goes from 0 to 60. The tone, he's very snarky. He's very rude.
I need your ID.
I mean, you're going to arrest me? Because
if you don't provide your ID, I will.
Just for parking my car?
For trespassing and loitering. You've been here for hours. That's not normal behavior. It's not normal behavior. I need your ID.
I don't know what you mean by normal behavior.
People don't park in gas stations for hours.
Now, this is something else that's very interesting. What he says, this is not normal behavior. And as we go through the analysis here in just a little bit, you're going to hear me use the phrase abhorrent behavior. And as the courts say, what is normal to one is not necessarily normal to another. And at this time, nobody had trespassed this individual. The lady in the store didn't come out and ask him to leave. That's a very important fact to note.
They come get gas and they leave. They come to the store, grab something and leave. You've been here for hours. I need your ID.
I've actually been doing this for.
Give me your ID or then you're going to be detained.
You're gonna arrest me.
I think one reason I felt such sympathy in this case was because I go back and forth between Nashville, Tennessee and Savannah, Georgia, where I'm in the process of relocating to. And I oftentimes have to pull over myself and stop at a gas station in a space and take a 30 to 45-minute nap just to get off the highway because I'm so exhausted. And I had literally done that a few days before I heard about this case, and this gentleman called me. And this case has already had some notoriety nationally. It was on the Civil Rights Lawyer channel. But this gentleman gave me permission to use this video and to do my perspective on it.
Potentially, yes. I'm trying to provide you an opportunity. No, I already explained to you why we're here. Provide your ID.
Sir, I didn't do anything wrong.
Provide your ID.
I'm not required to.
Yes, you are.
I mean, this cop just wants this ID like it's crack. These cops out here, when they ask for IDs, it is just so strange. And it's something that comes up in so many cases. They just got to have that ID.
When we're investigating a complaint.
No, you're not, sir.
Yes, we are.
Sergeant?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What are you in the car, okay? Please don't. I'm just getting out of the car.
Okay. I still need your ID. You're going to provide an ID. I'm going to no, keep your door open.
Okay.
I'm going to know who I'm talking to.
I just want to
provide your ID.
I'm not.
Now, something that this gentleman does, John, is he's very smart to come out and hold his hands up, because these officers, they can use excessive force very quickly. Now, that doesn't happen in this situation, but he was very smart to do that. You can tell that he watches a lot of law enforcement videos online. He's also goes out of his way to tell this officer he has nothing dangerous on him and so forth. But this officer just keeps this attitude of contempt. And you're going to see why later. He starts bringing up YouTube and online videos. And that may go to what some of the motivation of what this was about.
A threat to you guys. I have no weapon.
Okay, great.
I'm just reading a book in my car.
Sir, we could have been dealt with this.
If you want to talk to your sergeants, I'm perfectly happy to wait. I'm not a threat to you guys.
I didn't say you were a threat.
Now, something else very important to notice here. When on a police stop, most police departments have policies that you can request a supervisor to come on scene. And that's really important because when that supervisor comes on scene, they may be better trained, know their policies better about when there may be a violation of somebody's civil rights right there on scene.
The issue is not that we believe you're a threat. The issue is that we received a complaint that you've been out here for a long time.
Another important to note, they state there on the record that they see that he is not a threat. And that goes to the loitering and prowling statute that comes up, as well as the textually the trespassing statute.
I just parked my car to read a book.
I understand that, but
There's a thunderstorm.
I'm
You know
aware
it's unsafe to drive during a thunderstorm.
because of the nature of the complaint, and we're outpatient.
I
So we know who we're
understand.
talking to.
You're being very reasonable right now. I'm trying to be reasonable as well.
You're not.
I asked.
You're
you-
not.
I asked.
Is there a reason?
I
Do you have warrants or something? Do you have arrest warrants out of somewhere else? Of another state? Of another jurisdiction?
And this is where the reason of why he got arrested. John here started to stand up for himself and assert his rights. And this particular arresting officer had such contempt for that. And you'll see that as it occurs through this video. He uses the phrase crusade numerous times. He asks the gentleman, "Are you on some kind of crusade? Are you on a crusade?" Numerous times. It's just a gentleman standing up for his rights against the misconduct of police officers.
I mean, I see you got.
I'm
Is
waiting.
this your vehicle?
I'm waiting for your sergeant.
That's fine.
Okay.
And when he tells you the same thing, then what are you going to do?
I will comply once your sergeant comes here
Okay.
and tells me.
If all you need is for him to ask for the ID, then what? Then
I just
good.
wanna know
I've already
what
explained to
the
you.
law is here.
I've already told you.
Now, Something else to notice is that you can see here that John is a well-dressed gentleman. You can tell that he's educated. He's articulate in how he speaks. There's nothing in his vehicle that shows, particularly from the plain view of the officers, that there's anything illegal going on. If the officers had seen anything per the plain view doctrine, such as drugs, alcohol, needles, anything else that was nefarious, they would have immediately searched that car. You see, there's a bicycle in the back. There's nothing about this gentleman that says he's a transient or that he's any kind of threat or anything to be suspicious. This was just about getting that damn ID.
Did you run the plate?
But we're not confused.
Yeah, clearly not confused. You're confused.
So
It's fine. My I understand that, but I just need to identify yourself as a violation. Get it right. It is not.
As you can see here, they had already run the plate. They know who he is. They know his name. They just want to get that ID.
Identify yourself for investigating.
You got the tag of the vehicle, correct? Can you try running the registered owner? Looks like there's 2 names central, the male half, please. Oh, he's been out here for hours.
It's in the water.
Oh, I don't know, dude.
Now, just as a disclaimer, this is an edited video for time. I will put a link to the full video, which is on John's YouTube channel, and you can see the full video there, the body cam video.
Because he's been here for hours. The employees like, car's running now, it's not. They've been out. So
As you're watching this, please contribute your contents. Kind of do a play-by-play analysis with me. What are your thoughts about this?
he's just refusing to identify himself.
Trespass.
I haven't gotten that far yet. I just want to know who I'm talking to. Be talking to somebody who's got a murder warrant for all I know. He's out in New York. So I'm trying to get something back on the plate, but I'm not sure if that's him or not. So I haven't done anything wrong. Well, maybe you haven't, but you've been here for hours, which is not normal behavior. And now you're just refusing to identify yourself, which makes me really concerned. So yeah, I'm going to go talk to them about potentially trespassing them. But I was like, let me see if I can find something through the vehicle.
Listen to what he says. I may potentially trespass him. An officer can't trespass somebody. This was a gentleman on public property and in front of a gas station. Only somebody in that business can trespass him. And then he goes and solicits the trespass from the lady inside the store who says that he had not been a problem.
Information, which is what I'm trying to look up now, which
I noticed
he's got
the name on it was like an Asian name.
oh, it's an Asian dude. Yeah.
He is Asian.
Yeah. So there's a chance. I'm trying to maybe work around it, but he's just really
They know who he is. They said it's an Asian name.
Anything about why he's here, what he's doing?
I'm reading a book. I haven't committed a crime. Well, I'm not. You've been loitering, which is not known behavior to be here for hours.
Yeah.
So, I'll go talk to him, but I was trying to at least know, am I talking to somebody who's running from something? I mean, it's not.
And remember again here, John had offered to leave. It was either right before this or it'll come up here in the video. He had offered to leave and not be any further problem. But this police officer just had to go from 0 to 60 and just blow this way out of proportion.
If you're from New York and you're just traveling through, I don't know that that's what he's even doing. He's got a bunch of stuff in his car, like he's like power cords and everything, other stuff in there. So you can go look in there and talk.
Power cords? Who doesn't have power cords in their vehicle? Power their phone, power their tablets, power another device. I have USB-C cords running all over the place in the front of my truck and the rear. Especially got children charging their tablets. What is so awkward about that or unusual?
I'll see if they want to trespass him, but I was trying to at least, I think it's just a red flag when you this isn't a consensual encounter. We're asked to be here. because the employee was concerned. I'm going to go talk to her, but I just wanted someone else to be here because I don't know anything about this guy. He's from out of state, which.
They'll see what they want to do, because if they want to trespass some other state, then we can.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a gentleman out of state. It's a gas station parked right by a major interstate. What do you expect?
I'll roll it up. I'll roll up the window.
That's what you were just doing, fielding anything.
They said it's not coming back, but he's got somebody with this name is out of New York, but I don't see like a super sketch. Yeah, somebody out of Flush.
Right there, his name says John. I'm not sure if it's Choe or Coe, but Choe. The name was right there on the computer screen. It came up multiple times. They know who he is.
In New York, the apartment up there. They said they didn't get anything back. I don't know what that. I mean,
Not getting anything back on a register.
I don't know. That's what I need to. Then I need to call in. Let's see what he get. Suffolk County Police Department. I'm gonna go. Yeah, let me talk to them and I'm gonna call Central first and see why they didn't get anything back. That doesn't make any sense. This is $23.95. I'm out on Murphy. Hey, y'all said y'all ran the registered owner of this vehicle and you're not getting anything back? I want to make sure I heard that right. Which should be the John Choe 720. Yeah, I just need to know, number one, does he have any warrants? And number two, I mean, he's refusing to identify himself, so I'd like to see a picture to know this is who I'm talking to. Okay, can you go ahead? Really? I didn't know that. That's ridiculous. Okay. All right. Appreciate you, man. All right, bye.
Traveling around, then? Are you like a
Morning.
Here, this is what I was referring to. He comes in and he's just the officer is soliciting the trespass. Now, apparently this lady had called the police or some department. I believe it was her, but he solicits the trespass, and she'll specifically say that he wasn't causing any problems. And he almost, and either in this moment or just a little bit, he's literally leading her, asking a number of questions when she's not even volunteering the information. He is soliciting and leading her into trespassing. John.
I don't know. He's being difficult. Do you want a barn? He's coming from, he's not even from here, from New York. I don't know what he's got going on.
What did she say there? I wasn't even going to call.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's not normal behavior. I agree.
Different.
Okay. All right.
Be back as well.
Like maybe they just needed to pull over, but come in and say something. We open at 6 a.m. I don't know what the hell you doing.
She specifically on her own brings up that maybe he was driving and coming in out of the rain, which is what he had said. So you have two people recognizing that is an environmental factor that might cause somebody to get off the highway and park in the gas station for safety for a little bit of time.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's you tucked in the corner. It's like, that's how things, I get it. Do you want a barn or what do you want to do?
I mean,
you can, it's up to you. I mean, I don't work for the store.
I mean, he hasn't came in here and did anything.
He hasn't come in the store and done anything. He hasn't done anything inappropriate. That's what she says.
But I don't want to bar him for no reason, but hell, I need him to get out there.
She says, I don't want to bar him for no reason.
Okay. I mean, I don't know this guy. He's not from here. He's from New York.
I'm scared.
I get it. It's a crazy world we live in. Yeah, they want a barn.
You want to bar him?
Yeah.
Try to explain to you that.
What's a crazy world is that we have police officers that are conducting themselves and violating individual civil rights. That's what is a crazy world.
So here's the thing, sir. They want to bar you from the property. Okay, that's on them. That's their right to do. So in order to do that,
They didn't want to do it. The officer solicited the lady in the store to do it. The officer wanted this trespass.
this point in time, it is a criminal trespass warning. Okay, it's not an arrest. However, it is something where we do need your ID so that we can fill out the paperwork and officially make it that you are barred from this property. Okay, so at this point in time, because they want to do that, we are going to need your ID.
Okay, I just need to fully understand what's going on. So I parked my car here during the rain. They called you, I don't know exactly when, but when you guys arrived, you asked for my ID. I refused to give my ID because I didn't believe I did anything wrong. But now you went to the manager or whoever this person is, and they are asking for a bar. I just trying to explain.
They're trespassing you from the property.
So what they're doing is they are barring you.
No, the officer is trespassing. Through the lady.
Then you will be arrested for trespass.
So,
And so for that process, you will need your ID. Okay.
so just so I understand, they're asking me to leave.
No, they're telling you you're not back allowed on this property. They're making an official report and documenting that you're not allowed on this property.
Okay, I haven't been.
No, sir, Mr. Officer, you are.
Sir. No, you keep on trying to string it along,
Trying to understand, but we're explaining to you the process.
and you just keep on
Okay.
going in circles. We're not going to keep
and
doing
you
this.
keep going back to
Listen to the contempt that this officer has for John.
your ID.
Standing up for himself.
You're on your way. You're never going to return here again, so it's not going to be a problem for you, right? So we make it official, and we move on. And that's that. That's the end of it right there. Okay?
Sir, I was not planning to come back here.
Okay.
So,
Okay. We have to make it official still for
great.
their request. Now, if you don't like that, you can call into corporate, and you can complain about that.
I don't know what this company is.
It's Murphy's.
Okay.
Okay? It's Murphy's gas station.
Okay.
Right now, the people that are on site who are the ones that have the authority to do that, that's what they want to do. Okay? So we're going to move forward with that process. And
So
if
that's-
you want to call them and complain, you
Yeah.
can do that later. And if management or someone above them wants to go ahead and lift that or do something about it, that's on them. But right now, right here, people on site who are the people who have responsibility, that is what they're wanting to do. And so that's what we are moving forward with.
Okay, so
Okay?
again,
So-
just to understand the process.
I've explained it multiple times now.
Are you going to provide your ID or not?
That's what I was going to ask.
Mhm.
So in this instance, if I refuse to show my ID, what's going to happen next?
Considered obstruction and failure to identify yourself through a law enforcement officer and
And-
legal parts of their duty.
And you're going to arrest me and take me to jail? Is that it?
You refuse to identify yourself while we're
Yeah.
trying to do our job. Yes, sir. It's as simple as showing the ID. We trespass
I
you.
mean,
we all move
I
on.
was
to the
hoping to
day.
go to church today, but if you're going to arrest me, go ahead.
Is that really the route you want to go?
Why won't you just tell us your
I'm
ID?
just trying to protect my constitutional rights.
You're not, though.
Right.
You're
That
not.
all I did was stop.
Here, he's asserting his constitutional rights and listen to the officer get upset.
In a place
Thinking,
before not identifying yourself. No.
He's going to start using the word crusade many times.
I'm
Okay, wait. Stop.
Because
You didn't just pull over for 5 minutes. Okay? Stop talking. Let me finish. You keep interrupting and not listening. You
Listen
were
to that
here
tone
before this
of
business
contempt.
even opened. Okay? You caused the employees to be fearful because they were not sure what your purpose was for being here for a long period of time.
She has said that he had done nothing wrong. He did not come in the store causing any problems. This officer is exaggerating or misleading or misrepresenting what the young lady in the store said. She never said anything on recording that she was fearful or that he had been threatening in any way.
Okay? What your behavior isn't normal. So they said, hey, we're concerned.
Your behavior is not normal. That's a very important issue that's going to come up in his case. That goes to the issue of loitering and prowling. As you identify the statute and applying the 11th Circuit law to the
That people, stake out things. They look for businesses that are closed so that when they open or close, they can rob them. I'm not saying you were going to do that, but your behavior caused them concern. Therefore, they called.
a man parking in front of a gas station that has a bike on the back that was sitting in the back seat reading a book, who has some kind of cargo carrier on top of a very nice car. this is somebody scoping out a business to rob or conduct illegal and nefarious activity. Who parks right in front of a gas station, right in the parking area, to scope out a business? That doesn't even make any sense.
Police who came to inquire about what your purpose was for being on this property. So due to that nature of that complaint,
It was
I'm
real
going to
clear. He was
identify you
trying to take a nap. He was reading. He was trying to get out of a storm. He was reading a book.
You have a chance to alleviate our concerns. Part of that is identifying yourself. We need to know who we're talking to.
They know who he is. It came up on the license plate.
And then on top of that,
reader on the laptop in the car,
actions
patrol car,
made them concerned. They don't want you back on the property. So therefore, we have to identify you to document that you're not allowed on this property again. And you're refusing to comply. So you had the chance to alleviate our suspicion. Nice. But during the course of that, you're required to identify yourself. And furthermore, identify yourself so they can bar you from this property, which is their right. This is private property. So you need to identify yourself. This doesn't have to be that complicated. We could have been gone. We could have been on our way by now. But you're trying to go on a crusade.
Here we go, the crusade.
That I'm not sure what's going through your mind, but it's not really logical. Go ahead.
Officer says he's not sure what's going through his mind, that it's not logical. So apparently, if you assert yourself against an officer and his misconduct and you stand up for your rights, then it's illogical. These officers can't stand it when their authority is challenged. John here may have a free speech claim as well as a Fourth Amendment false arrest claim, illegal search and arrest. But I think he may have a First Amendment claim as well, as he's exercising constitutionally protected activity, meaning he's challenging the stop, he's challenging this potential arrest, he's challenging this officer. That is a free speech violation, and this could be a retaliatory arrest as well.
So, as I said, I'm willing to be arrested if that's what you guys want.
No, stop. Oh, no. That's garbage.
John says he's willing to be arrested.
Stop. You're not a martyr.
John has incurred several $1,000s in expenses and legal fees representing himself. This is somebody that I have so much respect for, especially the risk that he's taking and the amount of money that he's spending. And this officer says right here, you're not a martyr. You're not a martyr. This is almost on a level with that officer in Waveland, Mississippi, the deposition of which has been going all over the internet. I did a video about.
Okay? Just identify yourself so we can move along and be done. Okay, well, you can. Oh, wait. You want to go to church? You want to go to church? Right? You just said you want to go to church? Let me see your ID. You'll be out of here within 5 minutes. You can go right to church. You don't want to go to church. You want to try to make yourself into something that you're making it something that it's not.
Listen to that contempt.
So you can leave.
There's somebody standing up for themselves.
I'm going to cooperate and get arrested if that's
That's courage. I have so much respect for that. That's why I've agreed to take the case and all the charges are dismissed. The charges have to be dismissed under the Supreme Court case HMCK in order
Is this your vehicle?
go forward with the Section 1983 claim.
Okay, go ahead. But is this your vehicle?
Like I said, I'm going to be arrested, and I'm not going to speak anymore because you're telling me I'm going to be arrested.
Now he's exercising his right to plead the fifth, which just aggravates this officer more.
We're going in circles.
Like, you're going to put me under arrest.
We're not asking you to say anything.
Yeah, this isn't.
Asking for your ID.
I've stated what I.
You keep talking though.
And the problem is, until you get positively identified, you're going to remain sitting there.
In front of a judge, this is going to look very silly, but I'm willing to go through the process.
Because I thought you wanted to go to church and you're not planning to come back here. But yet you want to go before a judge. You're really contradicting yourself. This is
Literally one of the
I'm
simple.
going to try to fast forward a little bit.
Has been requested.
but I don't really know what his end game is. But I also don't know who he is either. It's just stupid. But
The whole
no, this isn't you. Will you provide your, will
Go
you,
back a little bit to show the arrest.
the thing, I may not speak for judge, but I think if anyone sees what's going on,
how you're not cooperating? All we're asking for is something as simple as your ID. Will you provide your ID? Yes or no? I don't need a long, it's a yes or no question.
So you're refusing to comply with his lawful order to provide your ID. In furtherance of his investigation and the barring that has been requested this morning.
I'm going to be arrested.
That's not, we're not asking if you're willing to be arrested for an ID.
You told me I'm going to be arrested. So
I said you can be arrested. Right.
With this process.
I've done
Because
nothing.
it's not, they're asking you, but you need to understand it's not a request. Not a question. It's a, you need to identify yourself at this point in time. Okay. And why you can't move on from this? You'd be on your way, we'd be on our way. And it would be as simple as that.
New York, but they don't be chilling with the target. So the other thing is, we don't know that that's him. It could be, but I don't really know what his aim game is.
They know it's him.
But I also don't know who he is either. It's just stupid.
But he's been told what's happening. They provide and identify himself. If you,
Yep, let me get her name so I put the barring.
well,
You have your ID so I can.
I know my license number.
Okay. What is it?
0499 45693. Okay.
How long do you want to borrow for?
2 years.
That's
2 years.
What time did you get here?
I've been here since about 5:20.
Was he here then?
No, he pulled up around 5:45.
And what happened? What did you see?
I mean, he had the car running for a while at first, so I thought maybe they would just wait till,
Did he
because
get
it
out of the car?
never got out. I thought maybe because it was pouring down so bad, maybe they pulled over just to, get out of the rain.
There you go.
I had a purpose single from the gas station.
Get out of the weather.
Were closed because they had a power outage. So I didn't say anything. I thought maybe they just needed a minute. So I had to start my safe at 6 a.m. They were still sitting there.
He's the only one in the parking lot?
Mm-hmm. It takes the safe about 2 minutes to open. So now I'm looking like, okay, you're still sitting here.
So what time did he get here? How long was he here before you opened the safe?
About 15 minutes for the start of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll meet you inside. We started at 6 a.m. and it takes about 10 minutes from the
Listen to hear how the officer starts leading her. How long about opening the safe? Is he trying to he's building up a little bit of a case here is what he's doing. She never said anything much about the safe. He starts, here's something we can talk about.
But he never came in while he hadn't been in at all.
Never came into the store.
10 minutes before the start of it. And then he's been sitting here every sitting, so not it.
Were you just
Had any interaction with anybody in the parking lot? Nobody complained. Except it's what they call apparently made.
Hands there because I don't know. I don't work too many places. Maybe got the gas station at the pump. So
Were you concerned just about his safety, or were you concerned that? So what made you concerned for your safety?
This is where he is leading the witness, leading questions like what an attorney may do in court. He's not asking open-ended questions to get facts. He is leading her and putting words in her mouth. He's trumping up the facts to build a charge here.
because I know I got the car in the safe at 6 a.m. and this car is already sitting out here, so I don't know if they're waiting on me to start it or open it or what. Because we open at 6 a.m. and I know people know what time we open. Well, skepticism you pull up at 5:45 and get sick. Well, then after I open, you sit open inside.
Okay. What time did you call?
A little bit after 7.
Okay, so he had been there for at least an hour and a half, or roughly an hour and a half. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yep.
He was only there a little bit over an hour.
Got here about 5:20. They don't open till 6. He got here about 5:40-ish or so, and then she opens the safe at 6. So she was like, "All right, This car's been here for 20 minutes. Nobody's gotten out of the car. There's nobody else here. And she was concerned either they could have done drugs and then passed out, or because I got to start my safe at 6 and open it.
And now we're building it up
Take
more.
out and some
Stuff about drugs.
So she didn't call till
What he says?
7, around 7. So he'd been here almost an hour.
There's no real concern here about drugs.
And never saw him get out of the car, come to the store or anything. So she was concerned both something had happened in the car, overdose, or he was staking it out. Just irritating. Like, it could have been.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. You have an issue?
Pictures, the parent of the ball, that'd be nice if they don't.
Right. We're trying to do everything to identify this dude, but he's. What does it say at the top of the wanted? Somebody else wants. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. It's like, I don't know if the dude's just trying to like make himself. He's been watching too much YouTube and Instagram.
There it is. Watch too much YouTube. He's attacking you guys that watch
Else that we don't know.
YouTube auditor channels. He just attacked you.
You can positively identify him, and he refuses to continue to.
Right. We tried to look up a license. New York doesn't return the photos. He won't tell us whether this is even his car. I really don't know what else. I don't know another option. No pressure. All right.
And here they placed him under arrest.
All right. Put your hands on your back, please. Thank you. I don't know, like, if you're like on a crusade or something, man. Is there anything else?
Yeah, you're on a crusade.
No, I don't know.
No, he's a man exercising his constitutional rights of standing up for himself against police abuse.
Left here.
Now, I have brought up the loitering and prowling statute for the state of Georgia. I know this statute well, as I've litigated in federal court on some Section 1983 cases that I have. But let's look at the loitering and prowling statute. It says a person commits the offense of loitering or prowling when he is in a place at a time or in a manner not unusual for law-abiding individuals under circumstances that warrant a justifiable and reasonable alarm or immediate concern for the safety of persons or property in the vicinity. Now, as you noticed in the video, I kept bringing up the issue about what is normal, what is unusual. And I discussed about reasonable alarm or immediate concern for the safety of other persons or property. The lady had stated in the video that he had not come inside, he had not come out of the vehicle, and that's clearly subsumed from that. He never came into the store. He was no threat to anybody. Now, she even brought up that somebody may have come off the highway, get out of the storm, and was maybe just sitting in their car for a while. So the issue may be is that somebody's sitting in their vehicle for a certain amount of time, and here he was just reading a book, and there was no other observable activity or nefarious activity observed. So I don't see how this could meet the loitering or prowling statute. Here is the key language of the loitering statute. Among circumstances which may, that is a very key term here, may be considered, it doesn't say shall, among the circumstances which may be considered in determining whether alarm is warranted is the fact that the person takes flight upon the appearance of a law enforcement officer. Clearly that didn't happen. Refuses to identify himself. It doesn't say produce identification, it just says refuses to identify himself. Here, the officer was arresting him for a failure to produce ID. This was a point that I made in a pleading a response to a motion to dismiss on a very similar case, and that we have oral argument on in federal court there in Savannah on August 11th. I'm going to be making that point. Or manifestly endeavors to conceal himself or any object. Clearly, it doesn't apply. The person committing this offense of loitering or prowling shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. Let's look at the criminal trespass statute that, in my legal opinion, this officer was absolutely soliciting from that young lady in that store with the leading questions and putting words in her mouth. A person commits the offense of criminal trespass when he or she intentionally damages any property of another without consent. That's obviously doesn't apply here. Or maliciously interferes with the possession or use of the property of another person. That doesn't apply. This is a gas station open to the public. He pulled into a parking space. A person commits the offense of criminal trespass when he or she knowingly and without authority enters upon the land of another, and then cites some examples, for an unlawful purpose. This officer says that that's what he was investigating, an unlawful purpose. but there was no observable activity that could have justified a reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime being committed. Second part, enters upon the land or premises of another, where such entry was not allowed, such as a no trespassing sign, doesn't apply here. Remains upon the land or premises of another or within the vehicle, railroad, car, aircraft, etc., of another after receiving notice from the owner, rightful occupant, or upon proper identification, an authorized representative of the owner or the rightful occupant to depart. What that means here is this lady would have to have come out of the store and asked them to leave. That did not happen. Remains upon the land of another after receiving notice from the owner or such other proper person to depart. That never happened. I don't see how criminal trespass could apply. These are exact legal citations that I have in a federal court pleading. Obviously, I didn't want to discuss that case specifically, so I copied and pasted it into this document here. Loitering and prowling cannot be used as a catch-all criminal offense when the police cannot prove anything else. That is such an important statement. It goes on to say, referring to the Dark Ages when police were able to use the loitering and prowling statute as a catch-all charge to arrest persons at their whim. And that is what happens in the state of Georgia, because it's the sole statute that brings up the issue of failure to show an ID, because Georgia is not a stop and ID state. So they try to use that one little part of that loitering and prowling statute to justify an arrest for failure to show an ID. A person commits the offense of criminal trespass when he or she knowingly and without authority enters upon the land or another person for an unlawful purpose. Importantly, whether an officer possesses either actual or arguable probable cause depends on the elements of the alleged crime and the operative fact pattern. That's Edgar v. McCabe, which is an 11th Circuit case. This statutory language provides guidance on what constitutes trespassing, which can inform an officer's reasonable suspicion. Now, here is the big case, the Supreme Court case. In Heibel versus 6th Judicial District, Court of Nevada, this is a U.S. Supreme Court case. The Supreme Court held that an officer may not arrest a suspect for failure to identify himself if the request for identification is not reasonably related to the circumstances justifying the stop. The rule in Heibel built on Brown versus Texas, which invalidated a conviction under a Texas statute which made it a crime for a person to intentionally refuse to report or give false report of his name and address to a peace officer who has lawfully stopped him and requested the information. The court held that a police officer must have reasonable suspicion a person is involved in criminal activity before requiring them to produce identification. In the absence of any basis for suspecting appellant of misconduct, the balance between public interest and appellant's right to personal security and privacy tilts in the favor of freedom from police interference. And that's exactly what this was. John's freedom was interfered by this officer. Lastly, the plaintiff's refusal to produce identification without evidence of criminal activity did not provide a lawful basis for the arrest. The 11th Circuit has consistently held that officers are not entitled to qualified immunity when they arrest individuals without arguable probable cause. Because the plaintiff was not committing a crime and the officer lacked arguable probable cause, the arrest violated clearly established law and the defendant is not entitled to qualified immunity. That's Johnson versus DeKalb County. Thank you very much for your time. Please go check out John's YouTube channel. I'm going to put a link in it and watch the entire length of the video. I believe it's a little bit more than an hour. Show your support. Please put some comments as well on this page to show your support and tell them to keep fighting the good fight. Thank you for visiting Mumford Law. Please click like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to make it a goal to get to 10,000 subscribers in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're halfway there. Thank you for your time.